Alright, welcome back. Now today what we're going to do is carry on, but now that we've got the structure there, what I want to do is just to I'm just going to check my, I think I'm running out of lead, but anyway, is we're going to put a few more things in. Let's make it look like a nice little cottage, and I think one of the first things we should probably look at doing is, now if we lived here we'd want some shade, so why don't we look at doing a tree? So I think we'll put in a tree. I'm just going to do a rough sort of an outline of a, because remember this is generic, so we're just going to do some sort of just some little loose shapes. Alright. Now, what I find is we're just going to carry on with these little loose shapes, because all trees are in clusters, aren't they? You know, you've got your little your branches going in there, and then you've got your leaves, and then you've got smaller branches and leaves, and that they've got their own little environment, even though they're part of the tree. Alright, now next I better just get my just protect the drawing and not to get so much smudge marks on there. Now, so what I'm going to do now is just go and do each little one and just put little scribbleisms or squiggleisms. The terminology I didn't know existed, but apparently it does, according to Smoothie77. Got some awesome videos, that dude. But look, we're just going and just lightly just going over it, the weight of the pencil. I'm using, this is an HP mechanical pencil. We're just doing the line drawing, or the under drawing. That's what we're doing. So you get the idea of it. It's not rocket science. We're just gonna, it's usually a bit darker down the bottom. It's closer to the building. Not so much light getting in. It'll be dark in there where these two clusters meet up. Now if you want to know what sort of a tree this is, anyone asks, or if you want to know yourself, it's a generic tree. It's a generic tree that goes with a generic cottage. Okay. Alright. Now I like to sort of come back. You know, I'll just get the ground or the line work done, the under drawing if you like, and then I like to come back in and add bits to it. Alright, I might just bring that out a bit more actually. A bit more of an umbrella type. Yeah. Now over here, I think we will put in a we'll put a little water tank in here. Yeah. Try and keep things a bit straight, I guess. Big solid pieces of hardwood timber. Should we go? Yeah, we can go like that. Where's that one there? Put a bit of a cross brace across there to stop it from falling over. Yeah, we're going to take a little bit out there. We won't be seeing that bit. And we won't be seeing that bit. Yeah, this one here, we're just going to go. It's a corrugated iron water tank. Now I'll turn this around and get some lines coming in down here. I might just zoom it in a bit just so that I can remember to zoom it out again. See if we can get things a little bit closer on the sections that we're doing at the time. Okay, so where are we? We're here. Right. Yep. So now that there, and just very lightly put the corrugations in. It's an old water tank, but still doing the job. A bit darker under there. Yeah. Been there for a long time. Just put that in there. I haven't put the ground in yet, but we will. I want to see that line looking so hard. Not hard lines. Now it's going to be a little bit darker there because that's sort of in shade. Seeing that alright? Yeah. I just hope the focus is alright. I won't know until I go into edit. Alright, so we've got shelter, we've got water, and why don't we put in a fence? Put on a fence, I reckon. So, I'm just going to give us a we won't show the whole fence, but we'll go say about that high. I'm just going to do a very light line, very light. You probably won't even be able to see it, but I just wanted to put a line in just to give us a guide for our the height of the fence. Alright, so yeah, we're going to have to just come up a little bit there, that's fine. Alright, I'm just going to I'm going to just come up above, just a bit above that. I'm just going to go freehand. That's all, that'd be right. So we'd have probably one there. Yeah, it's in the foreground. I might put a gate in here, I think. Yeah, we don't want it too. We don't want it too too symmetrical or too. I'm just trying to figure out which way the halfway. I'm just going to have a bit of a quick squeeze here because I what have we got? Oh, yep, that's fine. That's fine. We're going to do, if you want to draw, if you're drawing along, you want to draw using a ruler, that's fine. Now, alright, so we're going to do, put some rail, there's going to be a post and rail fence. And now if you've been following along in my series, the first sort of half a dozen of my videos are all for absolute beginners, you know, it's just, and this is the sort of thing that we do. Post and rail fence, so I'm not going to dwell on it, I'm just going to get it all in here. Just got that, just put that top line in there lightly, just so we know where the top of it is going to be, that's all. Remember, these fences, they weren't built by factories or anything, they were mainly, most of them were just built on the job as they required them. Alright, now over here, come down here. So that, you know, they're not made to exact measurements, so just logs that were cut. They cut down a tree that was the right sort of diameter that they wanted. Shaped it. Got the old axe out. And that's how they went about it. Now, we're going to put the rail across there. That matter is not straight. It's not perfect. We don't want it to be, actually, to be honest. That's why I call my work rusticated. Old. And rustic, I guess. Alright, now just go around the outlines here. Hope I'm getting all this in the camera because I have come in a little bit, so I just got to remember that I have, and just keep an eye on things. Alright, now I'm going to take out these little bits here. Don't need them in there now. You know, that drawing's all about that, isn't it? It's about you sort of laying down stuff and then you're taking bits out. That's the process. And that's all about layers. So we've got layers, and you know, painting's the same. You use layers and you put down the first layer, then you go over it, and drawing's the same. That's what we do. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to come in and well, actually we might just put a hinge on here first. What sort of hinge are we going to have? I think what we'll do is we'll have a like this one. And there we go in there. No, hang on, it goes the other way. Hang on, we'll get it right. We'll get it right. That'll be coming out and then going into that. So that's going to be like that, just a hinge like that. Can you see that alright? Just like that, but then it goes. So it's screwed into the post. And then there's a hinge on here which will sort of come out like this, and that just sits on the there. We'll tidy it all up. We're just getting down, so we're just doing our line drawing, so just putting in our line drawing so we can go back in and do the details later. So we've got the hinge on the gate, and then the pin going in there into the post. And of course that comes down here like that. Like that. Just freehand it. You can use your ruler. And I'll just take these little lines out. Well, that's the basic shape of what we've got. So now we'll come back in and just shade them in. I'm going to use my an HB wood pencil because I like to hold it more on its side because you can just get a bit more texture, you know. The way it comes out, it creates more texture. Probably a better way of saying it. I'm just going to go over this, and then we'll go back in and do some detail. Do the posts first. Now remember, we're just going to hold the pencil flat because it'll actually pick up when we do that and we look at it, there's always little imperfections in the paper and the way we're doing it, and that's what's going to create the texture. Now, one thing is on the edges, we just go a little bit darker on the sides, just to give it the impression that it's rounded. See? And we'll come back in and get it. We'll come back in and get the detail. But just for now, that's all we want to do. Make that a little bit darker. Turn it around. I always like to go with the flow of the drawing. You don't have to be too fussy about it. Try and keep within the lines, but if we go over, that's alright, we just rub it out. Once again, we just go a little bit darker along the bottom there, because the light source is coming from either the top or the sides, so the bottom tends to be darker. See, and it's these little bits like this that are going to make up the texture. Well, I've done a little bit offline, off camera, I'm sorry, and what I've done, I just wanted to go in and do a little bit more on the tree at the background. So I've taken a little bit out, and I've added some branches, just to give it a bit more, just a bit more character, I guess, a bit more. And what I'm using here, I'm using my mechanical pencil, and I'm making smaller, much smaller little squiggles, just to create a darker or a more of a foliage look, leaf look. We don't want too much detail because, you know, it's quite it's behind there, so you're not going to see a lot of detail. But we want to just be able to get the darks and the lights in. Also, I've taken little bits out, so we've got some little sky holes in here so you can see through it. And branches. And we don't want to do too much. And also, I like to just sort of come out a bit from our initial sort of cloud-like little shapes that make up the little clusters. And I find when I'm drawing doing shading, like for light and darks and midtones, I like to squint my eyes, because when I squint my eyes, what happens is it takes away the detail. And so you can only sort of see the lights and the darks. And it just helps you to just sort of know where to put them. And another thing I always find too, another useful tip, is that when I'm doing foliage, if I'm especially if I'm doing like a generic scene that we're doing here, I only like to do a little bit at a time, because you tend to sort of get all it sort of merges or blurs into one, you know, and it can be. I'm using the 0.5, and it's quite a thin lead, so it breaks easily if you get on too much on the side. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is to try and I only do little bits, as I said, yeah. So that, and when you go away from it and come back, you'll see it. You know, you'll go, oh, yep, that's right, or that doesn't look too good. And another thing I do is I'll take a photo as well and look at the photo. And the photo, you just with your phone, will tell you will show you different things as well that you didn't actually see when you were initially drawing it. Some people like to hold up the drawing, you're drawing it in front of a mirror, and you pick up other things that you just don't pick up when you're sort of drawing away. So that's about all I'm going to do for the tree for now, and then we'll come back to it. Let's just say, oh yes, and see how it looks. Now also what I've done, and I'm going to be using my mould stick here. I just find on the bigger drawings it's easier, especially with the with graphite, because it's so easy to smudge it. So now what I've done in here, I've just put in it's the outline of an old tree here that's, well, I don't know if it's dead or if it's been hit by lightning, or it's just one of those trees that loses all its leaves. But you see them quite often around in the old countryside. So just doing that in lightly, just to put it in there. And I'm thinking of doing this drawing. I'm using it also to do a comparison, or even a versus, like between drawing in graphite and drawing in ink. I mean, because a lot of my work, in fact virtually all of it really, commission work in that, is I do the graphite drawing, and I do it in pretty much detailed, but then I go over the drawing in ink, and there's quite a big difference. And I'm just thinking, I know we've done a couple of graphite drawings, but we haven't really done a comparison, and this here might be just suitable for it. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Alright, now I've done a little bit off camera with the fence, because it's all it's all the same. It's all very much the same. So what I want to do is let's put in something else, and we're going to come back and put in the details. But let's just get our drawing down on paper first. So what we're going to do over here, now we're going to do a little hill in the background here. Goes over there, around there, and comes out over here. And then there's another one coming off over here. So I'm going to use my HB wood pencil, because I want to get it on its side. And we're just going to go in here and just gently shade it. Just gently go over it, not just softly. There's something under there. That's right, it'll add to the texture. Like this. We're going to be putting in a bit of grass, and I might just put another fence in here as well. I'm just showing like how we can build a picture using a 2-point perspective. Now actually I do have, I might just try my other, my clutch pencil, which I haven't used much. This one here, I think it's a 5.2, so it's really good for doing large areas quickly. So we're going to use that for the back here. A little bit darker, further away. Now maybe go over the side over here a bit, because that's, we can rub that out, but also you know, that part, if we ever get around a frame in it, well, it's going to be inside the frame or the mount. Over here. And over here. And we'll just come down. Right, now I'm going to go in and do a little bit of blending there. Give me a blending stump. Just blend it in, not too hard. I mean, just gently soften it. It's way over in the distance. Oh, sorry, it went a bit out of camera there. But anyway, it's just the same as the other side of it, just, you know, a little bit more, that's all. Well, I hope you enjoyed it though, all the same. And my name's Robbie Greer from Rusticated Art. If you're new to my channel, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. And subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll notify, or you'll get notified whenever there's a new video coming out, which I try to do every week. Now, one thing I want to stress is you've got to take regular breaks. That's one of my biggest things that I say with my students. You've just got to take that time to have a break, because if you don't, you just get so caught up in what you're doing. And it happens time and time again. I know it happens with me. I have to put my phone, put the timer on my phone, because if I don't, you know, 2 or 3 hours have passed. So you need to get up at least every 40 minutes at the most. Get up, have a stretch, walk around, go and have a cup of tea or whatever, and then come back, and you'll find you'll see different things. So thanks for watching. Part 3 will be coming along shortly. We'll see you then.